It's showtime. Wow, what's up, historians? It ain't Halloween. What the fuck's this guy doing? What's up, guys? Welcome back to Historically Haunted Vodcast Season 5. We're flying right through the season. We're at episode, 15, for God's sake? This episode is brought to you by sponsor Angie Barton of reader Angie's Angie Barton Readers page on Facebook. She's a client of mine for Historically Haunted Booking. Sent me a couple of her books, which I got to start. That's her there. She threw a sponsorship on the show. She's been sharing it. She was a guest a couple weeks ago. Much love, Angie. Appreciate you. Real quick, we do have an introduction to me. Let me slow down a minute because I'm super hyper. Perceived Paranormal East Coast. Alyssa Skews and Dan. Let's check this out.
What's up, everybody? Alyssa and Dan here from Perceived Paranormal. We are gearing up to do a investigation at a private location, but before we do that,
in the meantime, check out our boy, Adam Bagan, and his podcast, the Historically Haunted Podcast.
Enjoy the show.
I love it. Keep sending them in. I'm asking all my guests to do that. I got Thomas, who's my guest coming up. Another client of mine, too, but I'll need Stacia to send me one of them. Brandon checking in from Viper Paranormal, Virginia already. Fucking hey, what's up, guy? Thanks for sharing the show all week, too. Appreciate you. So about my clients real quick, I'm going to jump right into Wadruna. Did I say that right? Nod your head, yeah. Wadruna. Yes, Wadruna. Stacia Wills. She's all over the place. She's a spiritualist. She's all over the paranormal field in Ohio, believe it or not. Ohio. She's teamed up with the one and only glorious weirdo, the Archangel of the Paranormal. Thomas Patrick Gormley, man, the Paracon, the shaman of the shaman and the showman, doing all the Paracon things in Connecticut and Salem. What's going on? Psychic medium Chris Brown. Thank you for joining me, man. Appreciate it. Newest member of the Historically Haunted Booking family. Angie, just brought your book on, girl. Oh, you know it. Mortal Wounds. I got to start reading it. Without further ado, they're all back on the charcuterie board there, having their spirits and munchies. Stacia and Thomas, How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Sorry for being such a spaz, man. Thomas knows about it, but
yeah, it's okay. We love you.
I enjoyed it.
This is why I smoke so much weed, Thomas. You know that.
Yeah, calms you down.
Really does. Yeah. So, most of you guys already know Thomas, and we'll get into him in a minute. But I'm an old school guy. Ladies first. Stacia.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Talk a little bit backstage, but I want my people. What's up, Kathy? Checking in.
Hi, Kathy.
I want everybody to, the sponsors, everybody just kind of find out a little bit about you. So let me start young, I guess. What got you into this whole spooky field? Did it run in your family, or is it something that happened when you were young?
No, it runs in my family. We are known as the Carpathia-Rusins, and the whole line is gifted. I tend to be a little creepy, but growing up, it wasn't anything that I thought was special because just everybody did it. It was normal. And I'm a generational curse breaker. There was just incidents, events that happened in the family, and they happened to me, and I am the one who kind of just, said, this is gonna end here. So, as every black sheep, you end up going out and, making your way. I made my way in the world and ended up with a contracting business in the power plants. And I really do believe the universe gave me a lot of men to be able to read. And oh, yes. Yeah, I read for politicians, union bosses, power plants, and it was very, very interesting. And just along the way, I just started meeting the most amazing people, and I had a vision, and that is now Wardruna, and everybody that's a part of it came in at the right time. So what was my vision ended up turning into our vision, and it now has life in it, and it's being launched. We have been working privately. The system is amazing. The testimonials are just unreal on how this, what we have been doing with this integrated therapy.
But you're talking about bigwigs. You're talking about like you say, like politicians, like certain people that you wouldn't think believe in this shit, but they look to you for their guidance. Is that what you're talking about? Like
yes, yeah, I read behind the scenes for a lot of politicians, police cases, and yeah. I there was a long time I just wanted to fly under the radar, and dear friend Greg and Nicholas, he's like, no, we're done with that. You need to come out. And I'm like, no, I'm totally fine being in the shadows.
Gregory.
And he's like, no, we're done playing this game. Yeah, so yeah, he drugged me out by my hair, and
Yeah.
Big
Caveman
friends.
style.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah,
Dragged
he's
her
been
by
an
the red
amazing
hair.
friend.
Send by the radio. Brandon, thanks for sending stars, guys. Make sure to check out, send some stars. You guys like the material. That helps me out with the show. Gene Tewksbury, good evening. Everybody checking in. Danny Perez, client of mine, the Radical, said awesome when you were talking about that.
Nice. Thanks. Well,
You get some
and you know
people's
what?
attention.
And what more? See, I'm a shaman, and the family comes from Ukraine. And in Ukraine, we're called mulfors. I have clients that actually fly in from other countries just to sit with me.
Wow.
I have a very good following. But what I was always doing was connecting to the ancestors. My tagline is always the ancestors are here to fix the shit they created. So, they're on the other side going, man, we fucked that one up. We got to
Yeah.
go back and help that child.
Redo.
Exactly. So then I started noticing, like, I started picking up, like, well, I can't help you. You got PTSD. You got some trauma that's not my category. So I have this amazing friend, Gina. She was the first in it. And Gina's from Poughkeepsie. I absolutely love her. And her and I just kind of like built this system. And then Greg Nicholas came along. From there, I asked the universe, please, I need a therapist. And Tony showed up. We now have a therapist. We have Kristen, the psychiatrist. We have a pharmacist from the Cleveland Clinic who is, yeah, he
Wow.
specializes in psychiatric. We have Kathy Faketic. She heads up the whole healing department. Tom is my sidekick. We have Samaya. I mean, we
Oh,
have
Samaya's in the Eldorif?
yes, yeah.
Yes. That's my
We
girl,
have
too. And yeah.
we have Larry Allen. He does he mediumship and he
L'Oreal in
does
the second. Yep.
hypnosis. Yeah, I mean, we just have, and I know I'm forgetting so many. Dave Giuliano is going to be part of it. Greg Faketic is part of it. I mean, I could go on. But what was nice is a beautiful lady by the name of Ashley. She's a web designer, and I met her at Haunted Hillview. She stepped up to create this site for us. That's what she contributed to it. And then I met Natalie Jones from
You're
Paraflix.
doing Paraflex. Yep.
And her portion is she just believed in us. She is going to put us on the streaming Paraflix. So when people are up late at night, they can look and there's help out there.
Yeah.
And how this system works is people come to Tom and I, and Western medicine has not done them right at sometimes. They want to talk about grief, or they want to talk about their grandfather died and they saw him standing in the house. People don't want to hear that.
There's a
So
pill for that.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it. There's a pill for that. So, I connect them, but then, I started passing them off to Tony. Sometimes I see the clients back right away. Sometimes I don't see them for 8 months. Tony has done
Ooh.
amazing work. So then from there, Tony and I have done some integrated shaman and therapy. It's all HIPAA, protected, but
Yep.
the clients are signing off on it. I have clients where I sent them to Larry for hypnosis. They go back to me. They go to Kathy Faketic to have an attachment removed, and then they go to Tony, and the system's working. It's hitting every single level, and the testimonials, I will have on the site, these people swear by it. It's a different way of healing. It's mind, body, and spirit. Oh yeah, I have a wonderful Sierra. We have she's going to do physical fitness. We have this amazing chef named Chris, cooking for depression. We are literally hitting every level.
What a fucking all-star team. You got everything
Yeah.
pinpoint. I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
it's mind, body, and spirit. And the minute I met Tom, and Tom, I got to tell you this because I love you. We were on a project together. We were talking a little bit before that. We met from another project, but face to face. I turn around and there he was, and I just hugged him and I said, "I miss you." Like my soul, like knew him, and we had a blast on that project. Late at night, watching green figures on the ceiling and on the wall, and
Ooh.
yeah, it was very interesting. So I mean, Tom has
Little
been
girls
just.
peeking around the corner that weren't there,
Oh
but
yeah,
we
I forgot.
saw
How about the spirit crawling up on me and opening my mouth in the middle of the
them. Yeah,
night, and then said, "We thought you were dead."
yeah. And then because she called for me and astrally projecting,
Yeah.
and in the dream state when we astrally project, I was off somewhere. She was calling for me. By the time I got back, all that occurred and all that. I go, here I am. It was
Well,
just a
it
crazy,
was,
crazy
I snuck
time.
in. I was at the Oliver House at another event that night.
Oh,
It was, oh,
Massachusetts.
yes. Oh, the Oliver House is amazing.
Been there
I was in the,
twice. Yes.
yeah, I was in the kitchen and I turn around and there was a face staring at me in the window. And that house is amazing. So,
Suicide, murder, using the Underground Railroad, Native
oh
American
yeah.
burial ground out back. It's fucking
Well, it was an African man that I saw staring in the window. Yeah. So I sneak in late at
wow.
night. Tom's already in the first little bed. This was like Ricky Lucy style bedroom. I sneak past him. I crawl in and I go to bed. Well,
Hello, Sam.
I I wake up fighting, trying to get this whatever off of me, literally pulling my mouth open. So I go over and I shake Tom. I'm like, Tom, Tom, Tom. I'm like, what good are you? I'm like, come on, Tom. So
Oh,
I
he
go back.
slept right through it.
Well, I go back to bed and I fall asleep, and all of a sudden, in the astral world, he pops in and goes, "You called me?" And I said, "Yeah, where were you?" He goes, "I was traveling. Just took me a little bit of time to get back." He goes,
Wow.
"Scooch over." So
He's
then
out of
when
his shell. Yeah.
yeah, I woke back up that morning. It was still dark out, and I saw an African shaman walking back and forth in the hall, shaking this rattle.
Yep.
So I
Rattle?
get up, yeah. That was probably the coolest part for me, was watching this African shaman. All the spirits disappeared. So I go down, make coffee. Tom takes a shower. I come down, I start telling him about this. And him and I found the rattle on the internet. I described it. I said it was tubular like a cowbell with 4 or 5 of them on each end and would shake. It's from Cameroon and it's called an adudu.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Tom,
we
no
found it.
shit. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool.
That was a bizarre week.
It
That
really
was at the
was.
Oliver House too? That was that whole
No.
thing?
No. That
Nope.
was a house in Connecticut.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you guys have been all over, obviously. So I'm just trying. That wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I get you. Yeah.
It was just there was multiple locations within a week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Well,
ever?
that's the other big thing about what we do with Wardruna. It's about the healing,
Yeah.
but this is where the paranormal is going to be turned upside down.
Correct.
So anybody watching this we are consulting with people that are having paranormal issues,
Yes.
and we're looking at it at every aspect. It isn't necessarily a haunting. It could be the trauma of the people that live in that house, and we have to treat every part of it first. The investigation is the last resort, and people have to understand that when you do an investigation, you are opening up that home, that land, to something that, if you don't understand, but we do, if you don't understand that, you could create more harm than good. And our whole objective is to heal people and to make sure that we help them with their issues, whether it be them, the spirit that needs help, or the land that needs help, any of the ancestors that are left in that area. So it's not just one thing; it's a whole movement. So
You know
Yeah,
what's
and
funny? You guys
yeah.
sound like Ed and Lorraine Warren, because that's what. I
Well,
mean, I'm not trying to diss the whole
yeah.
thing, but everybody's in it for their TikTok videos and their little selfies. And look where
Yeah.
I am, guys, eating their gummy bears.
No.
You guys are in it to actually fucking help people,
Well,
and
that's
that's been lost for a while. It's all about,
no, and that's exactly it. This is not about, putting your name in lights. That, if you're looking for fame and glory, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
People come to Tom and I and to Greg and Larry.
Oh,
and
and her. Hold on, and her.
yes,
Yeah.
and Samaya. Hi, sweetheart.
Samaya, yes, I always get it wrong. I got her protection salt in my house, and I got this trailer in Maine. I live by Stephen King in Bangor, and this chick that I bought the house of, I'm not gonna cut you off, but her husband beat the shit out of her and cheated on her and left her here. And I sit here alone and cry a lot for no reason. So she sent me all this. She gave me a reading, sent me some salt. I got a thing hanging on my wall, and I tell you, I still do once in a while, but it's really stopped from every day. So she's the real deal. I swear by this chick. Check her out. Golden Pyramid.
no,
Seriously.
she's the
Not to
real
cut
deal.
you off, but she's amazing.
No, that's okay. But like I said, people are coming to us first, and we're working the system, and we
Yeah.
do have Joe Frankie, and we also have Greg Ferkatic. So we have Greg, who is a skeptic.
Greg. Yeah.
Joe Frankie, who's been in this industry with the Warrens forever. We're looking at this from every angle. Not every bump in the night is something.
Thank you.
Sometimes the trauma. Yeah, and that's what's nice about Greg, is because, he will debunk things. We also have Joe, who absolutely can pull things out.
Gregory
But,
Nichols, right?
um,
People say I've friends with Gary. They go, "Oh, he's kind of a non-believer." I go, "No, he's not. He's second guessing. You need someone to go, what's that?"
yeah,
Right?
exactly. We have a lot of top names, and this talent is some of the best in the country. And I am just so honored that the universe dropped us all together,
Joe Frankie.
to,
I worked with him when I was on the Warren Legacy Foundation because he's a New England guy. His
yes,
cover photo is
love Joe.
fucking is the main lighthouse from Nubble Light, and so and he's been doing work with Thomas, and you have an all-star cast, and the best part is none of these people have gigantic heads. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
this is all about healing and love. Honestly, if somebody does not fit me, I will pass them off to another healer. I always say, I think you're better to go to this. This isn't about ego. This isn't about, how many clients I have. This is honestly the age of Aquarius and raising the vibration. This is about healing. This is about getting rid of generational trauma.
It should
And
be, yeah.
absolutely. The highest vibration is love, and that's what we're just trying to do, is raise everybody's vibration. And this whole group has studied every single religion out there. I believe in Jesus. I love me Jesus, but I also, understand the other religions, and not everything is Christ-based. Some of it's of the land. And we look
Yeah.
at it from every angle. And Tom has been amazing. When I met him, when he
Look
came
whose ears
in,
were burning.
hi, Greg.
buddy.
Yeah, Greg is an all-star. We'll say
Yeah.
that. Greg is an absolute all-star. If you ever get to work with him, he's amazing.
I got to
It's
do a
amazing.
roundtable. Get you and a couple of your teammates on here. I can only have about 4 or 5 people, but I can fit more. And I have to. We'll have to plan that later on. But I didn't realize how fucking. I'm not gonna lie, Stacia. I didn't realize how enlightened and how informative you were. This is usually
Thank
I
you.
got to pull fucking words out of people's mouth. Yeah, you know what you're talking about. I want you to keep going because I love it. I don't mean to cut you off either. I just like to give the people
No,
watching attention because that way they stay tuned.
no, I'm an Aquarian. We always cut everybody off, so we're
Like
good with that.
ADHD, so yes, yeah. Virgo.
But yep. But when I met Tom and I met Joe, it was an instant connection. And Tom was just that missing piece that complemented me, and it was nice. My friend Gina, she looked at me at that event we did in Connecticut, and she goes, "There, I need to talk to you. That's your brother from another life. You two are twins." But then you can tell Tom what Samaya said.
Yeah, she said the same thing.
Yeah.
So
No,
they
really?
didn't
Yeah.
talk. They didn't talk. It's
Yeah,
so
they
because
know each
Samaya,
other.
as you know, Samaya here in Connecticut is my counterpart, just like she has, Gina and Tony. But we do this all together, and it works because Samaya and I went to talk to a family that thought their home was haunted. Come to
Yeah.
find out, the woman of the house had so much trauma that she was creating this, and we
Yeah.
treated her for that aspect of it. And I think things are going are better for the family, to the point where she held in so much stuff, she was having back issues. And people got to understand that if you're
Physically
not
hurt.
spiritually,
Physically hurt.
mentally, and physically in line, one of those things that's off, it's going to create problems. So if you're off spiritually, sometimes it could create those physical problems. And
Yeah.
that's why we do this Wardruna, is for that purpose, to look at the person in a whole, whether they be having a paranormal issue at their home, whether they come to any of us to get a reading because they have, they miss a loved one, or the trauma of our ancestors that create over and over again this loop that families have. We're trying to
Right.
get to all of that.
Or you get the sad cases, unfortunately. Like Heather and I have here I'm smoking weed, but I'm doing a podcast. But I've gone to people's houses and they can tell they're druggies, or some of them
Oh,
want attention.
absolutely.
Maybe some people are a little bit, mentally off. So I think you guys say not everything's. Oh, you hear that? It's a bump. It's a ghost.
That's it.
Sometimes someone's got a leaky faucet. I think it's
Yeah.
good to, you know.
That's what, when we put this together, I mean, literally, the universe just sent one after another. And I just started watching this build. And like I said, what was an I vision became a a project. And it was
Strength in
just
numbers.
beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I want us all to have ownership of it, because when that happens, it breathes, it's love, it grows. And,
You guys cover Ohio all the way to Maine, because Frankie does
yeah.
Maine. Joe's got Connecticut. You got Ohio. Samai's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're covering all the corners. Our biggest obstacle right now is getting enough therapists. They have to be licensed in each state. Our psychiatrist will be licensed in 48 states by July. So, that's just taking a little bit time. But it's
That's
just getting all
legit,
the
though.
therapists. What's that?
That's legit, though. You're
Oh,
not
it
just
is
getting these
legit.
people and dubbing them your therapist. He's a legit got documents. That's
Yeah,
real.
these are,
That's
and
big.
Tom and I and Greg, we're going to be very strict on this. Is we do not, if we see PTSD, we say you need a therapist. We back up out of that. You see some kind of, you know, exactly. I've had schizophrenics in my
Yeah.
office. I've had people who are like, I'm going to commit suicide. You have to call crisis, get the right help. It's not for you to do that. And we, are going to follow the rules that these professionals lay out, because we have to follow what they say. That becomes our scope. And a
Fucking,
lot, you
you're
know,
awesome, Thomas. I
thanks.
should have had you on the show last year. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I feel
Well,
like I'm leaving
everything,
Thomas out, but you're just still on the show here. I love it because Tom, I know everything about Thomas. He's built you up, but you
thank
know
you.
what you're talking about. How long you been doing this station? Like 5-10 years? I didn't even know it for a while, but I mean this project
Um,
here.
no, probably 20 years, close to 20 years. Once I entered
Wow.
the power plants, it was real easy just to start reading everybody. And then I had occupational health and safety. So I really became the hub
Oh
of
no
anybody who
shit.
needed any type of, counseling, reading. I was one of the only women on site, and I was the spot where somebody's like, Red, I need to talk to you. My wife left me. Yeah, I'm like, Red,
I get it. I get
But
the hair. The hair.
yes.
Do you think at first, or you think some people go, oh, just another girl? You thinking she's a psychic? But do you think people like don't really take you seriously? I'm not trying to offend you, but do you
Um,
think that people kind of just and you turn them? You're like, oh shit.
every once in a while, but not when I was on the power plant, because I have cases where somebody would hand me a container of pee. I do drug testing, and I'm like, this is so and so's urine. It's not yours. And I would nail it. Or I'd look at a guy going, sit down, you're getting ready to have a heart attack. Or I'd go
Holy
in the morning, I'd go into a meeting and say, hey, we're going to have problems in the precinct. And before you know it, we're having the problems.
wow.
And everybody quickly learned. And one of my favorite stories, I just was introduced to tarot, and having, like, that Orthodox, Byzantine, Lutheran background with the families, you know, we were never to use divination. You were allowed having these gifts, you were allowed, seeing spirits, you were allowed telling your family about it, but you couldn't use divination. So somebody introduced me to tarot. I was just using it. Some of the carpenters said, hey, bring it on site. How about you do a reading?
No
So I went out.
way.
Yeah. So I had my cards inside. I was outside talking to a millwright. And I remember looking at the millwright boss, and I said, so and so has my cards. And I walked in and I said, Chad, do you have my cards? He handed them to me shaking, going, how'd you know? I said, I could feel you holding them. So I took my cards and
Wow.
I left. I had to go back home. I left, and I'm halfway home and I hear, you left me. And I said, what? He's like, the King of Cups. I pull over this dark road in this valley in Pennsylvania. The King of Cups is missing. I turn around, I get to the turnstile. The one
What?
carpenter goes, you forgot a card. I said, is it the King of Cups? He said, yes, it is. I'm like, oh, okay.
Holy shitballs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the guys knew what I did, and it honestly didn't freak them out. Bosses would come to me and say, can you read for me? I'd have politicians, how's my election gonna go? I had union bosses, how's my election gonna go? Where's the problems? So, I did a lot of that. There was merging of unions. They're like, can you get a read on this? And
You ever work
I
with
was.
police on missing people or anything? I know sometimes they work with
Yes,
once
yes,
in a while.
I have done that.
It's always hush
Those are,
hush. They don't want anyone to know. I get that.
yeah,
It's never in
yeah,
the limelight because
yeah.
of it.
Those are hard. It's a respect of the family. doing the power plant stuff, you know. I'll tell you a story in the power plant. This was fun. I was sitting in Johnstown in my apartment one night. Kathy, I was sitting in my apartment one night and I heard, go to the plant. And I'm like, no, it's my day off. I'm not going. They're like, go to the plant. I'm like, damn it, I gotta go. So I go to the plant and
Gift and a
I
curse.
walk into this trailer, and the safety guy, Jason, I'll say his name because he'll absolutely tell you the story. He says it still freaks him out. I looked and he goes, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, are we drug testing tonight? I went, no. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. He goes, let's pull random. I said, okay. So we're sitting there and I just said, you know, I think I have to give, this guy's name is Joe. I said, I have to give Joe a message. So this guy, Dave, walks in and goes, are we doing random? I said, I got to give Joe a message. And I don't know why. So they went up. Wouldn't you know, Davis picked and Joe, you know, we picked Joe. So Davis picked and, Joe comes down and I look at him at the urinal and I said, listen, I see lights. I said, I see your light flashing before your eyes and I see emergency lights. I don't know what this is, Joe, but you need to back up. He goes, I don't believe in this stuff. As I'm standing, you know, 9 o'clock at night holding pee in my hand, looking at him, I said, but
You're
I
in
said,
luck.
yeah, I says, your mother-in-law just had something done with her wrist. He goes, who told you that? I said, I can feel it. He goes, I don't believe in this stuff. And he left.
You
So
did
a
then.
couple days, yeah, I just did the drug testing, you know, went home a couple days later, go to the plant. I'm like, come on, guys, let me have a night off. So I go back to the plant. I'm sitting there and Jason goes, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. He goes, you want to get pizza? I'm like, sure. All of a sudden, Joe comes in and he falls in. And Jason goes, he's late for work. And he's laying there and he looks at me. Somebody took the loosened the lug nuts on his tire. The tire went flying off. He went down over the hill. He said his life flashed before him. And all he looked up when he came to was lights everywhere.
Oh, he was driving? His tire
He
came
was
off?
driving, yeah. So then he looked at me and he goes, who did this? I said, it's three guys in a two-wheel drive Chevy truck. And I described it. That's who did it. So poor Joe for a while, he couldn't go to the bathroom without asking me, like, is it okay to go to the bathroom? Like, would you leave me alone? I'm like, live your life, Joe. It's good.
Should I get Chinese food today? Am I going to choke on my egg roll? What should I do?
Exactly. But yeah, I had a lot of stories that were out in the open, and the guys just accepted me.
Well, that's why Thomas loves you, because you're a glorious weirdo just like him, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'll take the
We're
weirdo
twins.
title any day.
We've lived lifetimes together, so
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
my sweetheart.
Is she coming to the Connecticut? Anything? Well, I'm
Hell
going to talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Huh?
heck yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
let's plug some of that real quick too. We got plenty of time. We're only a
Yeah.
half hour in, but I want to plug some stuff where people can meet her, get a reading, and of course meet you because you're a fucking awesome guy. I get your coffee mug. Down the rabbit hole again. We're let's talk about the Connecticut. Then we get the Fairy
mean that?
Con, the original Connecticut Con. Yes, I get
I
that.
got
Yeah,
witches brew.
yeah. Hey, rather fitting. I
Yeah,
have a
so
beer and I got this THC drink. It's 5% THC. I love my weed. Maine's legal, so.
so there's a lot of stuff coming up before the Connecticut Paracon, because we heard from
Okay.
from Kathy.
February 25th,
Yeah,
right?
in what is it, May?
May 16th, 17th, that weekend. Yes.
Yeah. So Stacia, myself, and Joe Frankie will all be at a table together at Parapsychon
Yes.
at the Ohio State Reformatory.
I was saying that's out of state. That's isn't that where they shot Shawshank or fucking
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm excited about that.
You gotta take some pictures for me, Tom. I'm a Stephen King head. I don't know if Tom told you,
Oh,
but
it's my favorite movie of all time. You know that.
I have to say,
They do
Greg
events
Paketic does an amazing job.
Yeah.
Kathy is unbelievable at doing this event, and we're very honored. I'll be reading there, and we're going to be, introducing, these two wonderful guys to the heart of America.
Oh, you're
Very-
speaking, Tom?
We're not speaking. We're just going to be visiting, but
I'll
we're
just,
going
I'll
to
be
but you'll
speaking
be
to
a
all
vendor, though.
we'll be just talking, hobnobbing around and all
Well,
that.
you'll be a vendor. You'll have your
Showing people
swag
what
and
we
you'll
do.
have your.
correct.
Oh, okay. So you'll be there. We'll be set up
Yes.
then. Okay, good. And
Yeah,
you'll be
so
doing
we're
readings, but you'll be set up Stacia for stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I'll be doing readings. I'm going to talk. I have an event. We're going to be going HillCon at Haunted Hillview Manor, one of my favorite places to go.
Suvec, I've
Carrie-
been there. Yeah.
Yes, Carrie is amazing. She takes such wonderful care of that place. So it is July 19th is the HillCon. You have
Pennsylvania.
myself.
Was it
Yes,
Newcastle,
correct.
Pennsylvania,
Yeah,
right?
Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Oh, that's an interesting story. We'll have to talk about that one.
Yep.
Greg will be there. Kathy will be there. Myself, Bianca will be there. Larry will be there. We will also have Paraflix there. And the
Oh,
next day, we are doing a 9-hour live. Dave Giuliano will be there. We will have
Ghost
John
Hunter Store.
Griffin from. He will be. He will be doing, his experiments. You'll be learning about the mediums. You'll be learning more about Wardruna. There will be a live seance. There'll be a live
Oh, no
investigation. Oh
way.
yes, yeah. I mean, it's there is a lot of
You might see
talent.
somebody via Zoom chiming
Well,
Yes.
I'll
in on
say
the whole
Thomas
thing.
is a plug-in machine. He'll definitely be
Yeah.
Yeah.
letting people know.
Yeah. Joe
Um,
Frankie's gonna be there. So, I'm really looking, it's really exciting. And then the next weekend is Tom's event where
Yep.
Kathy Faketic and I will be driving up.
Yep. So the Connecticut Paracon.
Yeah.
Yep, the Connecticut Paracon, and this year we added true crime. So it all goes into one. Just
I like that.
even with the whole Wardruna thing, I do the Mondays. I do the serial killers, supernatural, and murderers podcast, and I think one of the big things there is helping parents
Yeah.
with their children and things that might be going on in their children's lives, and how the parents are raising their kids and what they're up against to
Like signs, like
avoid
look for signs and stuff.
the potential of them learning things,
Correct.
that might turn them towards that type of crime or anything like that. So that's another part of the healing process too.
Well, and can
So
I and Tom, I have to apologize.
yeah,
His wonderful partner Jody is also part of Wardruna. She works with disabled children, so we're putting up a support system for parents who need guidance
yeah,
and just somebody to talk to. Like I said, we're trying to hit every angle of support,
yeah,
to improve people. We will also be doing classes how to use divination correctly, how to use the tools correctly for ghost hunting, how to cleanse houses, how to spiritually protect, mediumship, but we'll be offering classes also.
I got a question real quick.
Yes,
My
go ahead.
girlfriend of 7 years, Heather, who's probably watching. Thomas has met her many times.
Mhm.
Heather, what's
yeah,
your life guide? She's got a 15-year-old child that's recently been diagnosed with having autistic.
Okay.
And Heather's got no research, no one to help her, and no one,
yeah.
she's lost.
Well,
Do you feel like something like what you do, or is there certain that could help people with conditions like maybe Tourette's, autism,
well,
things like
it can, but let
Yeah.
me ask you, what level Tourette's is the child?
very I'd say I don't know the whole levels, but very much just stays in their room, plays games, lights off.
Probably level one, what they call now Asperger's.
I
Um,
think so. Doesn't really talk much, just very quiet,
For
not
autism,
emotional.
yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Big heart, very sweet, but
Yeah, I mean, and then it's very common. They're usually gifted also. So
very
don't be
so super good
very,
drawer.
very,
Can draw
very
anything.
much so. But yeah, no, that there is support here because when you have people with autism, they can get depression. And once again, Tony herself, she deals in that. A lot of autistic children do see the paranormal. They have a lot of them have synesthesia. They're very big empaths, so we can
yeah,
also help them grow.
There's a
I
legend.
choose I choose not to work with children. They don't have free will unless a parent is present and the child has gifts. I will not do anything shamanic with a child. That goes to the therapist. I
That's
don't touch
respectful.
that.
I respect that. You got to have boundaries, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the
Thomas,
whole
leave
thing.
it to you
That's
to
the
find
whole
someone who's
thing.
very
Is
respectful and knowledgeable, man. Sorry, go ahead.
there's a very tight model of what we're trying to do. It's a very tight model,
Hmm.
and I think people deserve to be healed the proper way and through the proper
Yes.
channels, and that's what we're providing for people. And it has to do with the paranormal too. I mean, this is, like I said,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
what's
I
going
mean,
to turn the paranormal on its head.
I hope
Nobody's
so.
doing what we're doing right now.
No.
Nobody's doing what we're doing right now. And again, we have, access to some of the best people in the paranormal. We have backup. We have support from some of the biggest names in the paranormal.
Mm.
I mean, John Zaffis is really
Yes,
uh,
correct.
loving what we're doing, and he's a personal friend, and great guy and a lot of years of experience. But
Yeah.
Even on top of that, having somebody like Dave Giuliano, these years of experience, Joe Frankie, of course, we're talking about people that have been doing this for a long time and want to look at it in a different way. It's not the same old, let's just put evidence online and all this other stuff. We have to come back to, what did you do for the client and what did you do for spirit?
That's the roots.
If you can't answer that question, you're not in it for the right reasons. And it's just simple. It comes down to that. So that's what it is.
See, and not to cut you off, but you guys have been on podcasts. Thomas, you've been on TV shows. You guys have done your thing. You do run conventions and all that's well and good. But at the end of the day, this is about helping your fellow human, right? Yeah. And I think that's bigger than fucking anything at this point, because what's the premises of what we're doing? Is it right, guys?
I agree with you. When I entered this, I was so surprised at how catty this paranormal world was. I was like, this to me was all about, I'm talking about generational, curses, as in healing and abuse. And now we're talking about who has the biggest, rampart.
It's a mockery.
Like, wait a second.
They go to the Gettysburg Bash, and I've been in Gettysburg. I much respect Gettysburg, but they go to Gettysburg Bash and they fucking get drunk and tap dancing on the battlefield and fucking playing hide and go seek. I'm like, what are you guys? What? Yeah. It's a sacred soil, guys.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Where's the respect for our ancestors that shed blood?
The big thing for that is the Gettysburg Bash. What it's all about, you're raising money for soldiers that were injured defending our country
and their families.
We have to remember and respect that too. That's part of the healing process also. In helping those soldiers. It doesn't just go back to the PTSD of soldiers now. It goes back way back when, and those soldiers that fought in Gettysburg and all that. And I think that's important for the people that go to that, the Gettysburg Bashes, to remember that. Yeah, you still want to have a good time, but be respectful of the people that have come before us, our ancestors. They laid the foundation to who we are. And if there is anything wrong along the way, we're here to listen and to get it going in the right direction. We have to learn from each generation. If we don't, we're bound to keep doing it. So.
But Thomas, Stacia, quote, I mean, I'm not trying to go off on a negative. It's turned into a peacock show.
Well, it absolutely has. I mean, I think it was an easy way to get recognized, an easy way to have talent, an easy way to get your name out there. But when you do this hardcore work, you
guys are going the extra level, and then that's what I'm saying. These guys just go, and like I went to Hillview Manor, or not Hillview Manor because that's in Pennsylvania, but I went to Radford, Virginia,
St. Albans
Sanatorium.
I'll be there in April, just so you know.
Huh?
Father Bob and I are going to be speaking together at St. Albans in
April. St. Albans is great. There was actually a big battle there in Civil War. Virginia's loaded with Civil War shit. Mm-hmm. But long story short, so I go there. I'm not going to name names. I don't want to start drama. But we went there, and this guy goes, well, I got the most equipment here. It looks like I win. I go, I win what, a prize? Then this other dude's off, and he goes, I only go with girls. And he goes with two girls to a room like a big perv. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So I'm over there with a priest dude, and we're in the morgatory morgue in the bottom. And I'm just away from everyone talking to spirit as they're all up there playing, laughing, and just, what's my shirt say? Just dumb shit. And that's the last time I did a group hunt. Not to go off on me, but I like how you guys are about. You're not about, look where I was, and look what I'm selling, and look who I am. That makes me sick. I'd rather not.
Well, I
like what you guys are doing, so kudos.
Thank you. When you're talking about like Civil War and the trauma,
That's
when you
real.
go back to the Bible states that, you do something and then 7 generations of, your children will be cursed. Well, I always talked about inherited DNA. Like, how does a bird know to go, fly south? How do they know this? Well, now they're actually coming out with studies, and especially in men, they say they hold trauma for 10 generations, which makes sense to what, is in, the Torah or in, the Bible. So when you take somebody who is living now and you start correcting this, like they come to the shaman, or they come to a shaman, then they go to Tony who does EMDR and takes, the trauma and lessens it. You are actually taking, and you're just kind of like pulling the chains apart, and it's actually healing all the generations, 10 generations back, and that helps the spirits. And that's what we're doing. This is all about just raising the elevation, not just here on, on this plane, but also on the other side.
But you get awareness. You're aware of that. A lot of people aren't. You
Yeah.
dig? Like you
But that's
get
why
it. I think you're trying to show
that's
that.
why we're
Right.
trying to teach it.
That's
We're
right. And
trying
that's
to
what the big
teach
news was,
people.
guys. This is
Yeah.
fresh. This is new. No one's doing this shit. Everybody's in it for themselves,
No.
and it's all a
Yeah.
pissing contest. And no one's really in it the old school Lorraine Warren way, where I'm trying to help people, and
Yeah.
it turns her into a mockery of movie.
This is the change that people have been feeling.
Yes,
A lot of people have been
generations, like
feeling
Stacia
there's been a
says, right?
change coming in the paranormal. And I think, with us and all the people that are a part of this, we're part of that change. Either I think if you need to get on with us and all that, and I think that's the direction it's going. It isn't about just, what we see now on TV or anything like that. It's very important to do these things. Again, what we're talking about, some people may say it's complicated, but really, this is what I'm going to tell you. A lot of times in the paranormal, somebody will come to me and say, "Hey, look at this. Isn't this a great piece of evidence?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a great piece of evidence. Did that help your client, and did it help spirit?" If you can't answer that and all that, it's a great piece of evidence, yes. But for me, it didn't meet the criteria to be able to help heal somebody, whether it be your client that is so desperate to get some sleep, or
That's what it's about.
or
Yeah.
a spirit that doesn't know it passed away and just wants to tell its story. So if we don't heal that, what are we doing this for?
I spoke to a lady last night, and she was she couldn't understand why her mother was getting these scratches. And the woman is a paranormal investigator, was kind of challenging me a little bit. And I says, what I'm getting is these spirits are trying to tell your mother she was ill. She's like, no, no, no. And I'm like, no, that's what it was. She goes, well, she's got scratches. I said, sometimes they come off very forcefully. And I said to her, I says, when was the first scratch? 2 years ago. When did your mom have her, first stroke? And she just stopped and looked at me, and I went, uh-huh. So you get a lot of these, you get a lot of these spirits that will, jump on your chest. And we found this out even about, this case that we worked on together, was trying to get family members' attention. They come off
Get
sometimes
physical?
very aggressive, but they're trying to get a message across that something's going to happen. So once, they're giving a warning on the other side,
Yeah.
and then we come in and we fix it, and then everything is calm again. Not everything is a big creepy demon.
Yeah. Yeah, and you
I
got
feel
to
some people
understand
on
that.
it. I'm like, no, not every time, guys.
And I've told you this before, Adam, and people that are watching, that even in the spirit world, just like to make sense of what Stacia just said, was if you were drowning and you were desperate, and then the lifeguard comes out, you know what happens sometimes? You're so desperate, you grab onto that lifeguard, you almost drowned each other
Yeah.
because you're so desperate.
Panic, fight or flight
We
mode.
have to understand that spirit and all that. Just because you get scratched sometimes or pushed or anything like that, it doesn't mean it's a demon. It's just, I'm so desperate. I haven't talked to somebody in 500 years,
Yeah.
and you could hear me.
Yeah.
And I just want to get my story out so I can figure out how to get to the next plane, because I'm lost. I'm lost in the darkness. You are my beacon.
Yeah.
We need to be the beacon for everybody, the living and the dead.
Not every
That's
place
what
is
we provide.
the Conjuring House or Amityville, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's thousands of places that have spirits that are soulful that are like, what the fuck happened? Who are these people in my house? Where's my family? Am I dead? What is going? They don't. It's yes. Thank you guys for bringing some attention. Thomas Patrick Gormley, Wadruna, Stacia
Yes.
Wills. I said that right. Are my guests today, guys. We've got about a half hour to go. Amazing, guys. Before we get into some fun questions, I want you guys to plug halfway through. Ladies first, Stacia, where can people find your work? Do you have a website, Facebook page?
The website will be going up at the beginning of March. I'm flying out to Orlando on the 16th. The amazing Ashley and I will be working for days on it. As of right now, you can find me on Facebook under Wardruna, Stacia Wills. You can private message me. So a little bit time. The website's going to get up and just, show all of us.
Good. And as far as the events go, you'll be on the page. Thomas will share. You'll be on these
Correct.
events
Yes.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
And my glorious weirdo, my friend. I know you're all over the place. Let's. There it is. Yeah.
That's Facebook right there. So.
Yes. And if you need Thomas for an event, you want him as a speaker, don't forget, message me. I'm his booking agent. That's my client, Historical Haunted Booking. You want him for your show, message me, guys. I'll get him on your podcast. If you pay enough money, I'll get him at your bachelorette party to dance for you. We'll see. Depends what you want to pay. Depends what you want to pay, though. Depends how much wine and charcuterie board you got. Thomas is a brother of mine.
As long as they like guys with dad bods, they should be all set.
Well, if that's the case, where's my money? I just got my income tax return. Don't make me send you some money.
There you go.
I walked off the elevator with Mohegan's son at the Warren Convention to Thomas, and he fucking gave me a big hug. First time I ever met him in person. We went and had a beer. We've been good friends ever since. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. We talk a lot. Salem, the Salem 8, you know all about that. $500 worth of Chinese food on him, rocking ragoons. And we had some good time, but it's good, clean fun. It's good souls and Salem, another place that's very much like Gettysburg. I don't want to tap dance around there and pretend to be a fake witch. There's people that really died, sailors, witches, other people.
There's a lot of generational trauma in the city of Salem and on the outskirts and all that. Your Danvers and things like that.
Marblehead, where we stayed, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Stacia, you've been Salem? You've been Massachusetts?
No, I've never been to Salem.
Thomas, we got to break her in. We got to bring her there.
She's definitely coming. We're going to put her in the Airbnb with us, too.
Oh, my fucking God. You never been to the Bewitched statue? Nothing, huh? Oh, you'd love it. I think you would feel so much emotion in that town.
I would love to go.
Oh, my God. Open invitation. We got to bring you.
It is something. My sister, she lives in Phoenix, and she says, you go to Salem, I'm flying in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's another Aquarian. She's awesome. I love my sister Sadie. Oh,
you gotta go. I mean, you're closer to that than okay. Let's move to some fun ones. I like to do some fun ones. Give me Stacia. We'll start with you first, and Thomas. I'm gonna ask you because there's always new people watching.
I changed my mind. I changed my mind from last time.
Where do you want me to massage you, Thomas? Just kidding. Stacia, where? Give me a bucket list. Give me a bucket. Thomas is his shoulders. He's very tense. All that suicidal, all that serial killer thought. Stacia, give me a bucket list place of yours in America and one for like Europe, whatever, and then like a favorite place.
Well, I would say not necessarily Europe, Iceland. I would love to go to Iceland.
Very, very green, I hear.
Yes. Oh wow. Here in the States, probably any place. Salem. I would go to Salem with you guys. That's a bucket list.
Yeah.
That's a bucket list.
You would I think you might be overwhelmed in certain parts, but I think you could handle it.
We're gonna make that bucket list come true this year.
You gotta come to Salem.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Before we get to Thomas, I gotta ask you, you've never been to Maine then, huh? You never been to my state?
No, I've never been to Maine.
Never been to Stephen Kingville, huh? Okay.
No, I have never been past Massachusetts. I did a lot of power plants up and down the East Coast, but they pretty much stopped at the Massachusetts part where I was connected.
Okay, so you've been through Connecticut, you've been through New England or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
What's up, Christine Marie, shooter for the Warren Con, photographer coming up, taking pictures of us. What's up, girl? Thomas, what say you? I know I've heard it a million times, but I want to hear it again. Give me some bucket list ones.
I've told you stuff before, and every time I watch a show, I was like, I got to think of something different.
Because it's different. I don't give a fuck. Mix it up.
I don't know. But
Puerto Rico.
No.
Puerto Rico.
Is that a plow truck? You're like 8 inches of snow here in Maine. I'm trying to think of it.
You know what? There's so many people that I want to meet in Australia.
Ooh, I don't hear that a lot.
That would be a nice one. Yeah.
I'd love to go to Australia because there's so many people in the paranormal that I've friended and they've friended me on Facebook, and I just feel a connection there. I think there's some good souls there.
Australian Paranormal, mid-APS.
Exactly. Amanda is unbelievable, and I would love to meet her and her husband.
Good people will. They sit on my shoulder.
I feel a pull to them. They're very much like what we talk about. Amanda and her friend, they're find missing people. They find missing people. And that's the thing is they're healing. We're doing what we're trying to do. So
Why
they're
is that
part of that
so
network.
rare? I'm not asking you because it's rhetorical, but it's like, why is it so bizarre that you're for that and it seems like a new thing? Isn't that bizarre?
It is, but I think a lot of it, and again, I will tell you, and I've told this before, if you have ego,
Mhm.
you are so far away from spirit that you'll never get the full effect out of it. You have to understand that the ego in this has to go away. Anybody that's listening right now, I know you're going to look at me, yeah, he's full of shit.
Oh, there's
But
some
the
haters
thing
watching.
is
Fuck them.
this is what's gotten me through life. I've been through so much trauma in my life myself. If I haven't, I couldn't turn around and do what, Stacia and I are doing. If I don't know, if I'm talking out of my ass, I am not
Yeah.
talking out of my ass because I've been through it. I've been through some pretty crazy stuff, with family, with generational stuff and all that. If I don't know how to recognize it, how am I supposed to help? But,
Yeah.
the thing is for me, it's that emotional maturity that we all need. And we're in a field of helping people, and people have to get back to that. If you think it's about you, you're in the wrong field, and I think you're
Yeah.
going to fall by the wayside. So I think you really need to look at it for look at yourself in the mirror for your own personal reasons and all that, and really dig down deep and think of, why am I in this field? What
It
am I
goes time to
doing
wake
it
up to the
for?
fake shit.
Yeah,
That
if
little
you, if
bullshit.
you can't do that, I personally ask you, you're doing more harm than good.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're going to keep us working, yes, because we have to fix what you mess up. But the
Stacia
thing
said that
is,
earlier. People
yeah,
they open doors and you leave things behind worse than you fucking came.
yeah. But I don't want to have to do that.
No.
We have to keep things on an even keel. And, again, this is the change in the paranormal that needs to happen. It desperately needs to happen, without that, because if we're going to eat each other from the inside out, we can't have that. It's too important. We have to help people, our clients, we have to help spirit. If we don't do that, then we're just going to implode on ourselves. So,
It's
and if
all
you want
Hollywood
that to
bullshit.
happen, then you're the problem. So, and we
And
don't need that.
to touch what Tom said, that's the one thing about being a shaman. You do have a lot of trauma that happens within your life. I said, I've had a lot that happened to me. I said, I've seen worse, I've seen less, but I understand it. So when a client sits down, I'm like, I honestly understand you. But the first time I met Dave Giuliano, he came over and he introduced himself. He's an amazing man. Very happy to have him part of the team. But
Good
he looked
people.
at me and he goes, I don't envy you. And I said, why? He goes, you deal with familiar demons. Those are the hardest ones. And, if people don't understand what a familiar demon is, that's the trauma within inside yourself. And you have to actually stop and look and recognize it to heal it. And a lot of these people that I've noticed in the paranormal world, yeah, they have trauma, they have grief. And instead of stopping and fixing it, they're chasing something so they don't have to actually deal with themselves. I mean, it's
Isn't
fun
that funny?
because, yeah, I mean,
If they try to help people, they can't even help themselves.
that's exactly it. I mean,
Just say it.
it goes back to
Talk.
how can you have anybody love you if you don't love yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacia, quit making so much sense. You're gonna get people fucking hate my show. Hey, I want to we can still get plenty of time, but I want to get to one more fun one I always get to ask. Give me some favorite movies.
Oh, you know what? There is an Italian film, and it's of World War II. It's Not a Wonderful Life. I cannot remember the name of it. It's one of my favorite movies. Yes, A
Not
Wonderful
every time a
Life.
bell rings, an angel gets his wings, right?
No, that's a one. Yeah. Give me a second. I'll remember it. But it's one of my favorite movies. Italian film, and now the name has totally escaped me.
Casablanca.
Casablanca. I was just
But
gonna say Casablanca. I was
Casablanca.
just gonna fucking
That's a
say
good
it.
move. No, but
Oh, it's
um,
not.
what's that?
It's not Casablanca. You're thinking of?
No, this is an Italian film, and it's about World War II. And I cannot remember the name of it now. I had it there, and it just went away.
Shit. Well, we got plenty of time to think about it. But
Okay, thank you.
if you don't know me that well, but you're gonna know me because Tom knows me. Give me your favorite Stephen King book and/or movie or both. You gotta have
Oh,
one.
Dolores Claiborne was my
Oh my fucking
favorite.
god! What a
Oh,
movie,
I
huh?
love
It's
that.
better than Misery. Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Oh, yay!
yes, love that.
She's
It
a
was a
crazy
wonderful.
girl, but I love her. Oh,
I think I
man.
read it I think I like about 8th grade or something. I read that book, which
Yeah.
it's a wonderful life.
That
Kathy,
was,
do me a favor. Google the Italian
no?
movie for World War II.
Oh, we're getting close. I can feel it. We're going to come up with a safe word soon. So, all right. So, is that your favorite book or movie?
Favorite book. That's
Okay.
my favorite book.
I haven't read it yet. The
Well, you
movie's
know what?
fantastic.
I will tell you, my son and I always loved Marvel movies with him. Growing up, I would let him, those were national holidays. He could miss school and we'd go opening day. So
I've seen
love the
all the
Marvel
X-Men,
series. Hmm.
Wolverine, Fantastic Four. Great stuff.
Yeah,
What's your
really
favorite
enjoyed that with
Marvel
my
then? Ghost
son.
Rider? What is
Yeah.
it?
What's that?
What's your favorite Marvel? Ghost Rider or
No,
Daredevil?
no, I do like the X-Men. The
Okay.
X-Men, yeah, that was always my favorite.
You're a Professor X type of girl, I can
I
tell.
am a Professor X. Yep, absolutely. Yep, the mind.
Thomas, what say you on movies, brother? I know you always come up with one. Give me another one. Give me a favorite. Well, give me your favorite King. Well, fucking Salem's Lot. I already know that.
Yeah, I know that's the haunted one, but you know me, my favorite movie of all time is Shawshank.
It is
Oh, that's
Shawshank
great.
though, but you love the
And
book
of course,
Salem's Lot. You always come up with them.
Shawshank and Silence of the Lambs are like neck
Oh,
and
those
neck.
are good.
Yeah.
Okay, the
Ooh.
movie was named It's a Beautiful Life. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
it's an
Oh, that's what she
Italian
said,
film.
wasn't it? Or was it A Wonderful Life?
No, It's a Beautiful Life.
Oh, it's all no
Yeah,
kidding.
Kathy said
Wow.
what, but this is an Italian film. It has got subtitles. It's called It's a
Hey,
Beautiful Life.
Paisan.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very good movie. You need to watch it.
Okay, so Stacia, well, before we end, we still got another 10, 15 minutes. We'll go a little over if you don't mind. Oh, and Glorious Bastards is a great book, great movie about the German, the Nazis.
There we
Oh,
go. Glorious
Nice,
Bastard.
Kathy.
that's what came
Love
up,
it.
she said.
You know, if anybody ever needs energy work done, Kathy is amazing. She is my
Really?
go-to. Oh my
Check her
God,
out,
she's
guys.
phenomenal. Yes. Like I said, she heads up the energy department of Wardruna. The energy
Oh,
healing. Yes, she's
well,
head of
good
that.
to know.
Yeah, because that was one of the most incredible nights. Was we all had
Yes.
Kathy via phone, and we
By
were
what?
She was in
she was
Michigan.
on the phone, and we were
Oh,
helping one of our clients. It was just this. All of us came together to help this family, and we were working with the client and all that, and it was just amazing of what we were able to pull off. And it just shows you that the power of what Warjuna could do.
Uh,
Even her being on the phone,
yeah.
her immense energy and how she's able to heal with us assisting and all that. Yeah,
She could feel where we were
yeah,
with just being
wow.
on the phone. She couldn't see us, but she could say, she went, "Who is at the feet?" It's like, Tom. She's like, "Good job." I opened up the spirit and I was over kind of the womb chakra. Now she couldn't see it. She even said, "What's going over the womb chakra?" It just turned popsicle, what you say, dreamsicle orange. Like
yeah.
she in Michigan could, in her mind's eye, see what we were doing. And she just did her work. I mean, she's phenomenal. She
Kathy, send
really
me a friend
is.
request. Adam Begin, Begin. I'll say follow me, and I'll send you one. What the fuck ever. But we should be
Yeah.
friends. I'm friends with half your team. I'm friends with Greg and fucking Samai. So send me a
Oh,
friend request,
Greg's
Kathy. I gotta
amazing.
get you on the show. Station, play host for a minute. Ask me and Thomas both a question in any order you
Oh,
want.
okay. Oh, now so you're asking an Aquarian to ask
I'll
a
put you on the
question.
spot. Yes, I love it. People
What's
get want me to ask a question. They go, yeah, go. People get
what's
so
your
shook up.
favorite snuff film? No, I'm just
Ooh, let's see. Well, I
I
like
mean,
lesbian bondage, but let me see.
I mean, hey, I'm an Aquarian. I need to know these
I was
things.
gonna say, I love how you're very. It's not me. I just follow directions. Oh, don't we all, Kathy? We're all good soul
Yeah.
sisters.
Absolutely.
We all
But
follow directions.
let me say this. Kathy listens and follows them, and she's a true instrument of the universe. She
Good.
really, really, she
We
is.
need more people like that you can actually trust. The whole,
Yeah.
So yeah, ask me and Tom a question. What you got, girl?
Oh, see, you know what? This is
Is it
where
really
Tom.
snuff film?
This is where this is going to get me in trouble because my mouth. I'm
I don't give
trying
a
to
fuck.
really be. I'm
We
trying to
are.
be.
You got to understand something, Adam. Stacia and I trade off very dark humor memes every day.
I'm
Yeah.
watching some
So
lesbian porn before I go to
if
bed
you
after
want
the
to
show's
open
done.
up
So we're good.
Pandora's
Ask me whatever.
box,
Yeah.
the thing is, if you want to open up Pandora's box, all the power to you, but you're about to get it right in the mouth.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's fucking
I'm
do it.
just
What you got? I've died before. I've been homeless. I've seen people die. I've seen ghosts. You're not gonna embarrass me. What you got?
oh God, I've done all those things.
Let's do it.
What is your most embarrassing moment? Let's do that because I love
Holy
those.
shit balls. Let me fucking
Hmm.
think what the fuck freaked me
Yeah.
out the
See,
most.
look, he does have to think, right?
I'm trying to think because I've been some ones that have been but I think at the same time, I don't if my pants fall down, I'm gonna walk around with my small penis like I own the fucking place. I don't care. I'm not
It's
scared of
cold.
nothing.
We'll do a
Whatever.
George Costanza. The water was cold.
What I want, what I want. That's it. It's fucking literally it's like -5 in Maine. That's no shit. My most
My belly
embarrassing moment,
button.
besides hugging Thomas in front of a bunch of strangers at a casino in Connecticut. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see. My most embarrassing moment. Oh, that's tough. Oh, probably when I get talked off the bridge when I tried committing suicide in Auburn, and they told me to come down and they brought me to the hospital and give me an exam.
Yep.
Not that I
Oh,
mean, I know it's kind of sad, but it was embarrassing too because I didn't want to commit suicide. I guess I was just upset because my girl cheated on me. This is back like '98. Not to get
you
super
were
upset,
young.
but
You were young and your frontal lobes were not fully developed. So
thank you. I was only 19.
your
Yeah.
frontal lobes and emotion was getting the best of you.
And then I went there and I got a free meal at the hospital. They gave me some tests and I got out and I never tried it again, really. So, but it was embarrassing. Now that I look at it, I kind of even wish I wouldn't even have brought it up because I'm not trying to put that out there and make you guys feel bad for me. It's
No,
just
no.
something I wish
You
was
have to,
erased.
Adam. You got to understand. This is what we've been talking about all
This
night.
is what we're talking about. Yeah.
When you're
Well-
open to that, this
Yeah.
says a lot about who you are and what you've overcome.
I
And
appreciate that.
that's important to heal. So
I
you
appreciate
being
know
able
how many-
to acknowledge that heals you in the
Mhm.
generations of you to come. So
God damn it.
Now,
You know, I can
think
hug you
about
both right now.
You
Yeah.
know, you had a moment. Your frontal lobes are not developed. There's passion there. I mean, honestly, you're thinking with your wrong head because you were getting that one wet, and so I mean, it's true.
How can I love her, Thomas? She's part of the crew.
But I mean, it's there's a lot of passion. So you feel desperate at that moment, but at the same time, here we are talking about this. What if one person is listening? They go, wait a second, there's another option. There's, we've all
Wow,
had,
God bless you. That's
yeah,
deep.
we've all had a lot of exes. And sometimes people think this is just the last, this is the one. But I honestly look at every ex, which was a lot of them. Let me tell you, I had some fun. There's been a lot of exes, and I am now married to honestly the most wonderful man. I have the most amazing husband, and I turn around and I looked at all of them that are stepping stones, and I just said,
Stepping
"Thank you for
stones.
being part of my life to get me
I love
across
that.
the river, but thank you for not being the one." And that's how we have to look at it. And
It built
you
your
have,
character, though, in a way, right? It kind of built your
yeah.
defense in a way,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Every single one
Yeah.
brought me something different. It's probably
You're
why I have
right.
such amazing character because there were so many of them. But
But you wouldn't recognize how great this one is if the other ones didn't suck so bad, right? I mean,
exactly,
Thomas
because we
just
take,
celebrated his anniversary, so it's like
yeah,
I love my girl Heather. 7 years. Thomas has met her. She's a witch and life
Yeah.
guide. She loves her witchy shit. You got to meet her. I
beautiful.
think you dig her. If
But
you live in
Stacy
Salem,
knows, Adam, I've been with Jody for 18 years.
you got family coming to Maine soon. Your girl, right? Your
Yeah,
daughter.
she's actually there. She's in Portland, Maine.
You better come take my tour, motherfucker. You better come up to Bangor and see Stephen King's house.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye out on my lovely daughter and all that. So
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of lovely people, one of the original, one of the
there
Salem,
we are.
Morgan.
There's
What's
one
up?
of the Salem mate right there.
The Elwell's lady would kick them right out of bed at 2 a.m. What's up, girl? Oh, by the way,
I'll never
Morgan,
forget the thump. I'll never forget
Yes.
the thump, and we'll never let him live it down.
Never let him live it down.
Yeah.
Heather wanted me to bring it up real quick too. Morgan, guess who we get on next Thursday? Not trying to push this away, but this is a big one for us. Heather's favorite musician, Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf, he's a Native
Nice.
American rapper from Alabama. He's part Cherokee Indian, part Pilgrim. His mother is coming on my show. Mama Wolf who sells marijuana
That's gonna be
products.
awesome.
We're going to talk.
Nice.
And Heather's through the moon. Yellow Wolf, Heather's favorite rapper from Alabama. His mother's, we met him. We got pictures with him.
Yep.
I conned his mom into coming on and shit like that. I get to actually have
awesome.
some people on movie stars and shit. And of course,
Yeah.
regular people's great. I love it all. I try to get decent people through the board. It's not always going to happen, but Stacia, Thomas, we're at the hour. Can we go another 5, 10, 20 minutes?
Absolutely.
Sure. But I got one more thing that we have to talk about. Love you, Morgan.
Thank you,
You're the
Kathy.
best.
I can only follow you. I'll
love
see your friend request. Sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
So, Stacia and I, even with Wardruna, on top of that, to help other people in this industry, we are doing a podcast that's coming together.
This is the big news, guys.
Yes,
Okay,
this
I thought
is
it was
the
the
big
other shit.
news, along with Wardruna, is
12.
unveiling Wardruna, but to continue that and have people like yourself on to talk about,
I'd be honored.
things that have happened to you and us to be able to heal you online. And it might be going through Paraflix. All right. And it's going to be called Transcending the Ancestors, where we help heal ancestral trauma. And we'll have people on the show that have gone through traumas. And as we talk about their traumas, other people that watch are going to be able to heal as they hear people's stories, or have people on that are professionals in the field to answer questions to help heal. And I think it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And, I'm very excited about it. And I know Stacia's very excited about it. Just us two together, our bond and our caring and our empathy for our fellow people. I think anybody that comes on, we're going to be there for you. And I want to make sure that everybody tunes in when we get that going, because I think it's going to be very important to be part of that, along with Wardruna and just everything in a nutshell, in the direction the paranormal is going to go. Like I said, we're flipping the paranormal up over its head. Just metaphysical, anything, healing, everything that's going on. I think it's so important.
Paranormal still me. You
glad
guys
that
are.
we're able to
He's been
do
watching
it.
the whole show. No, I'm sorry to get you off, Thomas. I'm getting giddy because this is what it should have been coming for a while. This whole fucking showing up with black shirt, all this Zach Bagans wannabe shit's getting old, man.
Well, I do have to give we have to give credit to Melissa Wiles, who owns Goddess Elite, and she's always connected with Marianne Winkowski, the Ghost Whisperer. Melissa is awesome, and a year ago she came and says, I want to give you guys a podcast, and we worked out the format.
That's huge.
Yeah. And, both Tom and I have gone through some pretty generational, hardcore trauma. But we've come out the other ends. And that's it. We want to heal others, but we also want to hear the stories of what you went through and how you crawled up out and became something amazing and how you're helping other people.
Looking forward to seeing it. Stacia, did you want to do a reading to Morgan? Did you want to do some sort of, or no? I don't know. I don't put you on the spot. I don't know if you wanted to or not. I know you mentioned earlier you wanted to.
I would rather do it private because I do pull out generational stuff, and I always try to back up and out. But I can do one private.
You will do private though. You would do
I
it.
will do privates. Yeah,
message
I've
page.
done readings. Yeah, I've done readings out online, but the ancestors always want to come in and fix, and I do feel like I'm going to be pulling something out on her.
Well, Morgan, if you want to, I know you were talking about in Salem. If you want a reading, I'm sure she'd love to give you one. I'm trying to put you guys
absolutely.
in the spot.
Just message me, honey.
Okay, cool.
Well, we're all going to probably be in Salem together in one.
I'm sure.
Airbnb,
We'll get some crab rangoons, give a reading there, and
there you go.
Adam, do me a favor. If she's on Facebook, create a group chat so I know who she is. And
I will.
Yeah, and I'll give her my phone number. We can connect.
Oh, dude, you're fucking amazing. Brandon, I didn't get the memo. Washes gel from hair. What the fuck? He's a funny dude. He tunes in every week, Virginia Paranormal. So, ask Thomas a question, Stacia. I know hey, if you're gonna be podcasters, might as well get used to it. Ask Thomas one. Put him on the spot.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah, make it good. Make it fun.
He has no idea how to put me on the spot because
bullshit. Get him on the spot, Stacia.
Oh, because honestly, if you would just see, I mean, they probably would commit us.
Yeah.
You saw half of the stuff that we've said back and forth.
Oh my God. I mean, us two together, if you just realize some of the shit that we trade back and forth, I mean.
And here you guys are going to insane asylums like Hillview.
It just shows that we're so in tune to what's going on in the universe. And then we find such ridiculousness of the universe sometimes too, on top of it. And we have to laugh at ourselves.
We do.
You can't heal unless you're laughing at yourself,
Don't
no
take
matter
yourself too
how dark
seriously.
it is. No matter how dark it is, we laugh. People gotta let things go and just laugh. And that's
Goddamn.
probably the biggest part of healing. And Stacia and I do that on a daily basis because we're always there for each other. We know what's going to make each other laugh, and no matter what's going on in the world, we could guarantee that each other's got each other's back. So, and that's right.
The
Our
battle
fellow
back
man
and
needs
forth
to
with
be
who
doing the same
knows
thing.
more serial killers.
Yeah,
You know what I want from people, I just want people to listen to their guts.
yeah.
Listen to their instinct. And it doesn't matter
Oh, I
if
get
it's
you.
crazy or not. Listen to it. Those are your God-given intuitions. I always say, a cat and a dog, they'll get their hackles up and they'll know a guy's bad. They won't go down an alley. But us humans will crawl into that car with a serial killer, even though our gut said don't do it. It's just,
Hey,
oh,
fucking
well, we'll
see,
do it.
people don't listen to that little voice like you do. Some people don't. They don't. Okay, so quit dancing around the thing. You gotta ask Thomas a question.
Oh,
Something make it
Tom.
funny. Make it stupid. I don't care. Make it fun.
Oh,
Oh my God.
I know, right?
Who's his favorite Smurf? Whatever.
Papa. You know what? I'm really trying to
Smurf
think
app.
of
Don't
one.
bullshit me.
Yeah, this is so. Oh, because we do so much.
We know each other so well. I think it's going to be
No,
very hard
There's
for
got to be
her.
something.
I
Something.
know,
What's his
but
favorite
it's gonna
pizza
be so.
topping? What's his
I don't want to
favorite?
offend anybody because it's gonna be so off color. Like, okay, wait. Let's just
If
do
people know
this.
Thomas, they're not gonna get offended.
Let's just talk. We're because once again, I'm an Aquarian. Where's the oddest place you've had sex?
Ooh, good one.
The worst, the best
Oddest.
place, or the
Weirdest,
weirdest?
oddest place. Uh-huh.
When I was in
Down the rabbit hole
college.
again.
When I was I gotta say, when I was in college, they had like these little dances at the college and all that, because it was a small college and all that. And I would DJ these dances and all that. So
No shit.
so afterwards, one of the girls was like, kind of hanging on and all that. We're just like kind of, hey, let's go for a walk. So we're walking around, and I had sex with her on a tennis court.
That's fun.
Oh.
It's like, why would I have sex on a tennis court,
Is it soft? Is it rubbery? Is it foamy?
No, it's terrible. It's like,
Knee burns.
it's just,
I
that was
thought it was
just where we
balls you
were,
thrown in.
it was on a tennis court. I was like, what are we doing? But, it's kind of funny because you think about tennis. What is zero considered in tennis? It's considered love. And there was no love going on there. It was just all out, hey, I really like you. Let's have some fun. But,
And
go
I'll tell
crazy.
you, Tom and I, one part
Love
that we're
it.
good, that makes us, good at healing, we ask these really odd questions. I usually don't ask them online, okay?
Yeah.
But, we do poke it. And, it lowers, that being tense. I had the psychiatrist in here and we were with a client. I can't tell you anything it was about. But when it was all done, she looked at me and she goes, you got out of her in 10 minutes what would have taken me over a month.
Yeah.
Because I
Wow.
say the odd things and they expect it. And they chuckle, they laugh, and it drops it. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm just like, oh, I can't say this online, but I usually do say the odd. But I will tell you can I tell you where my husband had sex and he's very proud of it?
Yes, please.
50-yard line, Ohio State football field.
Oh, no
Right.
shit.
So now every time you watch football, you will, yeah.
Ohio, OHIO. Oh, yeah.
Go
Buckeyes.
Vince.
Yeah,
Go
he
Buckeyes.
had
No
a full right
His
to
shit.
name
go.
is
She was
Vince,
a
and it's not
wrestler.
Vince Lombardi, but after hearing that, I'm gonna have to.
He was that night.
I did
Yeah,
have
he
to
was
give
Vince
him a high
Lombardi
five
that
when he
night.
told me that. I'm like, okay, high five.
How
Yeah.
the fuck
got
does
them.
security guard get motivated? How they don't have sense? Well, back then, I guess. Maybe now.
Yeah.
They were probably sleeping and having some coffee at the time. So
I've seen
I
they
mean,
Days of
were
this was
just
Future.
waiting.
They're all
like
getting stoned on the football
1982.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was back in like 1982. So yeah, I
The weirdest place I've ever had sex is my bed.
Poor Adam. Come on, Adam. You got to
Um,
get better than that, my friend.
I know that was dumb. That was dumb. So check it out, guys. This will be up on YouTube in a couple days. We'll get you guys back in the future. Before we get going, let's plug you guys again. We're Druna, Stacia Wills, Thomas Patrick Gormley. Let's plug some shit. Where can people find you guys, ladies first? Let's plug some more shit.
Right now, I am on Facebook. The website will be going up. You're going to see that roll out, on all of our social media pages. And, phone numbers will be able, we'll give them out also. But just, like I said, by March, the beginning of March, the website will be up. Until then, just find me on Facebook.
Okay. Thomas, you're fucking Shadows of Salem, Salem Paracon, fucking Shaman and Showman. That's all on the bottom.
Yeah, the Shaman and the Showman, Archangel of the Paranormal, Connecticut Paracon, and True Crime Conference, Salem Paracon Horror Fest, the
Nice.
Connecticut Witch Festival.
No, look at that timing. I had it right on
We've
there.
got so much stuff going on. We're Druna, the Healing Network. I'm going to be at St. Albans in April, in May, of course, at
Radford,
the
Virginia, great place.
Parapsychon, and then all of us. Yeah, but all of us together, in Connecticut Paracon, the Salem Paracon.
Thomas and Charles
all of us are together. It's crazy.
Speaking.
So, yeah.
Salem State University, my first time as a speaker with Thomas and Nate on stage.
Yep.
I'll never forget that. I would take a bullet for you guys when you guys gave me a chance to shine and fucking. Yeah. I will never forget that. So I fucking owe you guys one. You know that. I love you guys.
That's the thing is I know who you are, Adam, and I see you, and I've always seen you, and that's the thing is I know who you are. I want to make sure that people know who you are too, and that's why I always support you, and I'm so honored that you support myself too, and of course now with Stacia that you support us and everything.
And I'm not perfect. I need a little bit of healing. I'm glad you guys recognize that, and
we're going to help you. Adam, that.
We'll talk. But
soon. Honey, let me say, nobody's perfect, and every day we are healing. At any moment, there are things that I have forgiven my mom on, and I've let it go. But every once in a while, there's still that little ping there, and I'm like, okay, I have to sit down with it. I have to recognize it. And I have to let it go. But, it's part of your growth. I mean, if you look at a snake, or any type of, there's growth there. It hurts. It's painful. Birth is painful. It's growth. And, you have
scars.
to crawl up out of your skin,
scars,
your shell. Right? Yeah. And you become bigger and better and stronger. So, I mean, without the pain, without recognizing it, you're not healing. You have
I know we're getting going, but I love how you and I started to go over. I appreciate taking you guys' time, but I love how you said in the beginning how you weren't saying it's all me. It's all you were name dropping your teammates, name dropping Thomas, Absolutely. Name dropping how you can't do this alone. That's big. A lot of people I talk to, or even in the past I've seen, just act like they're the shit. And I
hope
get
I
it.
didn't forget anybody. I know I did.
No, but what I'm saying is you acknowledge people other than yourself, and that's a big thing. And I really, the main thing,
thank you,
and the hardest thing, forgiving yourself after you forgive others. Amen, Morgan. Goddamn, thanks for tuning in, Morgan. You never tune in. Nate must be busy because he ain't tuning in. So I'm glad you tuned in, girl. It's such an honor to meet you. I would. Oh,
Nate's laying on the floor after getting kicked out of bed.
He was in my bed. I kick him out too.
No,
thanks, Brandon.
What people have to understand is we are now in the age of Aquarius, and Aquarius is about humanitarian acts. It's about the we and not the I.
Yeah.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.
Oh yeah, the tune. The perfect tune for what we're doing. Perfect tune.
So anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys for checking in. We're gonna get going. I've been robbing you guys for an hour and a half of your time. When you get a show, I'd love to be a guest, and otherwise I'll bring you guys back on, maybe solo. I brought Thomas on as co-host. Thomas been on my show more than anybody, I think. But I love him because I love digesting that head of his. Morgan's laughing. Yeah. You're so funny, Morgan. Heather thinks you're a fucking riot. Everybody loves you. Yeah. Thanks for stealing the show, Morgan. So we're talking to Morgan Caldwell. Just kidding. We talked to Stacey Wills. We talked to Thomas Patrick. I leave anything out, guys, before we go? Anything you want to drop?
No. Just, please check us out. You can find us on Facebook, other social medias. We'll be on Paraflix, on the streaming channel. I'm very excited. Please reach out to us, go through the network, and let's just all heal together.
Yeah.
What a pro. You made this hour fly by, girl. I swear to God, sometimes I'm pulling the words out of people's throat. You've made this fly by. Thomas, you always hook me up with great people. Thank you for being awesome. Morgan wants to reach out. We'll reach out when I'm sober, probably tomorrow, a couple of days. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Every week, Historically Haunted Vodcast. We keep it uncut here. You don't like the show, don't tune in. You don't like the people, don't fucking talk to them. I like them. Station Wills, Thomas Patrick Gormley. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. Station, don't block me after the show because I will tell Tom.
I promise I won't.
All right. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for